First, I would like to thank the organizers of this conference. I am grateful that we have this space to talk about our project on documenting Bugkalot or Egungot, which was decades in the making. I am Cristina Gallego and my collaborator is Frederick Barcelo, who is a member of the Bugkalot community. So Bugkalot, also known as Egungot, is an Austronesian language used by about 5,710 people, mainly in the northern Philippines, particularly in the provinces of Nueva Vizcaya, Quirino, Aurora, and a small population in Nueva Ecija. In terms of vitality, it is rated as threatened or in trouble by the ethnologue, which means that intergenerational transmission is in the process of being broken. In terms of previous documentation on the language, there were several word lists of different varieties of the language, mainly by the Summer Institute of Linguistics from 1956 to 1979, as well as a brief language description by Su Chan Lau in 2008. As for the Department of Linguistics at the University of the Philippines, Diliman, which is my home institution, we have uncovered field data from the personal archives of Dr. Ernesto Constantino, consisting of audio recordings collected as early as 1964 up to the 1990s. In 2009, we have also done field research in Nueva Vizcaya as part of a field methods class, and I was part of the undergraduate students who worked on Bugkalot. Our group was able to produce a linguistic survey of one Bugkalot speaking community as well as a grammatical sketch of the language. So this presentation talks about the 6 decades long partnership of our institution with the Bugkalot community, beginning from our previous collaborations, which led to our current collaboration that now focuses on a community-led documentation project for Bugkalot. So our collaboration with the Bugkalot community, as I have already introduced, began in the 1960s through Dr. Ernesto Constantino, who was part of the department from 1959 to 1995. He passed away in 2016. Some of his notable projects include building an archive of Philippine languages and dialects, as well as compiling a universal dictionary of Philippine languages. Particularly, his idea for an archive has the following claims, or aims: to collect recordings of all languages and dialects of the Philippines, transcribe these materials phonetically, collect previous works done on the languages, know details about the linguistic diversity of the country, collect additional materials on the languages, and finally, to publish findings from the project. So his research projects ultimately yielded 211 document boxes and 70 big corrugated boxes, as you can see in the picture. We have over 730 cassette tapes and micro cassette tapes, as well as 453 magnetic reel tapes, plus reams and reams of word and sentence lists in over 100 languages and regional varieties, as well as drafts of his universal dictionary. My colleague Elsie Orr has presented on this collection at last year's Language Documentation and Archiving Conference. So for Bugkalot specifically, we have uncovered 4 7-inch reels, 17 5-inch reels, as well as 47 cassette tapes, which consist of songs, music, stories, greetings, as well as many elicited data. After Dr. Ernesto Constantino, our next known collaboration with the community was in 2009 when the department conducted a field methods class in the province of Nueva Vizcaya. I was an undergraduate student then who worked with other students from the departments of linguistics and anthropology to document Bugkalot, and that was the first time I met my collaborator, Mr. Frederick Barcelo. From our fieldwork, we were able to produce a linguistic survey of Bugkalot as well as a grammar sketch, which had preliminary descriptions on phonology, morphology, and syntax, as well as anthropological notes focusing on the Bugkalot kinship system. This prior connection led to our current collaboration with the community, and I will let my collaborator, Mr. Frederick Barcelo, to talk about this.
Pinanganak ako sa tribo, pero lumaki ako sa kapatagan. So, nalimutan ko yung sarili kong lingwahe. Bumalik na ako sa community. Doon yung start na nagkakaroon ako ng interest sa sarili kong language. And then, nung nagkaroon na nga ng pag-aaral ng UP Diliman sa naging grupo ninyo, yun yung nag-hudyat, nag-start para magkaroon ako ng mas malalimang pag-uukol ng panahon sa aking sariling lingwahe. Nagkaroon ako ng interest na sumulat ng sariling dictionary. So, una ko munang ginawa, nagtala ako ng mga root word, mga salita, and then linagyan ko ng kahulugan sa Tagalog. Kailangan talaga ng isang stable o isang talagang orthography na magagamit para hindi mag-iiba-iba o may finalize talaga kung anong mga letra na dapat gamitin. Kaya yun, yung kumunikuli ako sa UP, ayun yung hanggang sa nagkakalikuli tayo. Ang una nating ipinlano noon is uh, pumunta kayo rito and then pag-usapan natin kung ano yung gagawin natin. So nalaman natin na may existing na pala ang KWF with the DepEd Quirino at nasasama na rin ang Nueva Vizcaya. Kaya doon yung natin idinugtong yung ating programa na magkaroon ng centralized or unified na pagbuo ng ortografiya. So naisama itong Aurora, pati ang translators, ang Old Testament translators, Nueva Vizcaya sa Quirino. So magkakasama tayo at kasama rin pala nila ang Translator Association of the Philippines. Sa ngayon, ang orthografiya ay kumbaga malapit na sa katotohanan. Bali, doon sa training naman na pinagkaloob ng yung tanggapan, malaking bagay din yan kasi doon sa pag-subscribe ng lalo na meron tayong natagpuan na mga recordings 1967, 1960s, uh, yung pagsusulat, pagta-transcribe nito para magamit o may basa, maintindihan, napakahalaga yung pagkakaroon ng ilan. So, yun ngayon ang tinuro sa amin kung paano siya gagamitin, paano siya ipapasok dun sa mga pagtatranscribe. So, ang nakita lang namin doon, talagang kami, aminado kami, na hirap din kami talaga na ipustro kasi ang daing salita na hindi kami pamilyar, masyadong malalalim. So, mga terminology siguro yun para sa mga awitin noon na kailangan din namin pang aralin ngayon. Isa pa rin na naitulong sa akin ng grupo ninyo sa KW, sa YouTube Liman. Gusto ko pa rin. Ang pagbibigay niyo rin sa akin ng apps dito sa dictionary na ginagawa ko. Napakahalaga na yung pagkakaroon ng mga researchers din sa labas na nanggagaling sa labas pa din sa mga kung ano meron sa community. Kasi nagkakaroon ng interaction, ng friendship, collaboration. Unang-una, naipopromote din kasi yung kultura. Siyempre, isasabi, ipapalabas o ikukwento na may mga ganitong tribo na kailangan din natin alamin yung kanilang kalagayan, yung kanilang kultura. So isang daan din yun para ma-expose and then kami rin mismo nakakaaral din kami kasi may mga limit din na hindi namin abot ng aming kaalaman. Ikaw yung mga isinulat ng mga sinaunang tao patungkol sa amin dahil hindi na wala naman kaming records dun sa mga previous na history. So kapag pumunta kami sa labas, nakita namin na may mga na-save na mga records na ganito, 1890s pa. So, yun, nagkakaroon kami rin ng mas malalim ang pagkakaalam din sa aming sariling pagkatao. Para sa isang linguist na magre-research, dapat na unang-una malaman natin yung mga naka lalo ngayon na ini-implement talaga yung mga step by step na bukod sa pagpapaalam sa community, nandiyan din kasi ang NCIP na ahensya rin ng gobyerno na nag-i-implement na rin na patungkol din sa mga pagsiguro rin sa mga karapatan na hindi na nababypass o na over. So pagka natapos din, kailangan din na maibalik sa community yung mga resulta, and then kung may mga, saka yung pagpapabalidate sa community, napakahalaga rin lang. Maraming sitwasyon, maraming pagkakataon na may mga nag-research na nila pinabalidate, tapos yun, nag-publish sila. So meron kaming mga against na concern dun sa kanilang pinablis. Sa mga nagre-research, yun lang maging observe, and then yung respect dun sa kultura. Pre, yung pag-a-adjust, kagaya nga nung halimbawa tayo, pupunta tayo sa isang lugar, siyempre, kung ano yung kanilang mga batas na pinagagana, obligado na makikisama tayo.
So, to sum up, our current project consisted of several activities to meet specific targets, such as community consultation and identification of specific needs, a language documentation workshop to train members of the community in the basics of language documentation, a series of workshops that focused on uncovering basic grammatical features of Bugkalot as well as working on their orthography, and finally, digitization and repatriation of materials from the Constantino collection. All in all, the current corpus comprised of 72 hours of legacy materials, as well as recordings of new data coming out of our recent workshops with the Bugkalot core group, coming up to about 167 hours. In total, we have 239 hours of audio and video recordings. So now, we have several takeaways from our decades-long partnership. Sir Freddy already talked about the relationship between the linguists and the community, not only in terms of research collaborations, but more importantly, mutual respect. Additionally, we have also realized what it means to keep best practices in language documentation, particularly ensuring proper data organization and storage. So digitizing and making sense of field recordings from decades ago continue to be a huge challenge for us. Without proper metadata, we have to go through each recording to know its contents. These recordings were also kept away from researchers and the community, and it is only now that we are beginning to repatriate the materials to the relevant communities. This is also where we saw how some speakers have heard their own recordings for the first time since they were recorded, as well as recordings from their grandparents, and now how their children hear the stories they shared from decades ago. But at the same time, this also comes with ethical considerations, as we have found some recordings that are very sensitive and so need to be handled carefully, such as in terms of confidentiality and data privacy. Finally, we also have to consider the outputs coming from our collaborations. This community-led project on Bugkalot ensures that we are responding to the needs of the community while also being able to document the language. For example, developing an orthography for Bugkalot was identified as the main need of the three provinces in terms of their language, for them to be able to produce literacy materials for students as well as to help in their translation work. So our project continues as we finalize phase 1, which focuses on orthography, and now we begin phase 2, which focuses on building a community grammar for Bugkalot, as well as continuing the transcription and further processing of legacy materials. So that is all from us. Thank you very much.